Steve, what are next steps for you in this fight, and then how can people support you in that?
There are a few ways to expose what's going on here. It's for the mainstream media to suddenly figure out that they're on the wrong side of history and start telling people the truth. The chance of that happening are fairly low at this point, right? I mean, the fact that they haven't done it in autism, and autism has been a problem for well over 20 years, and there's been no progress, says that that's probably not a viable option. We could have some billionaire who comes forward and says, hey, here's $100 million for an ad campaign. Let's get this information out to the American people, and let's educate people in the UK, in the US, and other places. And let's make sure that the public knows all this. No such billionaire has surfaced to say we're going to fund something like this, because they don't, I guess, presumably they're intimidated as well. They don't want to be on the wrong side of, I think nobody wants to be on the wrong side of history, but they don't want to be on the receiving end of all of the repercussions that would happen to them if they funded something like this. But they could fund it anonymously. But so far, nobody's shown up for that. We could change the laws. But the problem is that the legislators are intimidated because the pharmaceutical companies have such a strong lobby that all these legislators are afraid. This is why nothing is happening in the House of Representatives, for example. This is why most of the members of Parliament are not speaking out about this. We could try to battle it in the courts, but the problem is that even though you're on the right side of the law here, it doesn't necessarily mean that the judges will side with you. And so what happens is you get a lower court ruling that's adverse to you, and that the courts above that then refuse to hear the case, and you lose. You spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on your lawsuit, and you have nothing to show for it. I used to think that the legal actions would be successful, but they are successful in employment cases and in hospitalization protocol cases where they're accusing the hospital of killing people and withholding treatments and so forth. Those cases can be successful, but the bigger cases have not been successful so far. We're still pursuing that. There's some interesting cases here, and Syria is pursuing, for example, but that's a long road too. So I think from my point of view, we could try to elect members of parliament who are on the right side of this issue, but that could take a long time because it's a chicken and egg problem. The public has to be educated before they'll elect these members of parliament who will do the right thing. The simplest and the most expedient, direct way to make this a huge change is if you're in America, to support Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for president. And that will change things almost instantly overnight. If he gets elected, it will be game-changing for the health of Americans as well as the health of people throughout the world, because these agencies will finally admit that they had lied to people in the past. There will be new management that says we're not responsible for the old management. The old management was corrupt. They were distorting the science. They were lying to people, and we are going to be honest, and we're going to be transparent. And once you have data transparency, all you need is data transparency, one place in the world with enough numbers to be statistically significant. So if you have a population of 10 million or more, and you have a data transparency law, that will change everything. That does not exist anywhere in the world, as far as I know. Bobby Kennedy will change that if he's elected, but it doesn't prevent a governor of a state from creating data transparency. And people are not willing to do that because they don't want to expose the lie and be treated like Joe Ladapo in Florida. And, everybody's then attacking him. The media's attacking him. And all Joe is doing is telling the truth.
Well, I I can only hope that Bobby has some success. It's been a pleasure to watch him run because he's, I think, in my entire life, the only honest politician I've ever listened to. And he embodies so many amazing values. And it's just been incredible to hear him talk, and also to have a weird history with him where I spoke to him 4 years ago about these same topics. And the bigger he gets, at least it seems to me, more people will listen to him and realize that the vilification of the media and by the Democratic Party is all completely wrong. And again, maybe that exposes the mainstream media to a certain extent, exposes the medical community. It feels like we make a little bit more progress. Steve, I just wanted to thank you for everything that you do. I know it's not easy being at the tip of the spear. I know it can be very hard taking a lot of that, but it was really interesting when you said that for you, you didn't regret it and you knew it was the right thing to do. And that's the way I felt when we were pushing back and kept broadcasting right through all of this lockdown down here, and I got hate from all around the world. I also got so much support from people that knew deep down we were saying something right, and I'll take dinner with those people any day versus the hundreds of thousands of anonymous haters. And so it's also very empowering to be doing something you feel congruent with and right, and it feels like you're doing that as well. So just thank you for being out there and fighting. I love getting to know people like you and Robert Malone and Peter McCullough and Edward Dowd and all these people that are just pushing forward with this narrative, and it's just so important. And I feel like 100 years now they'll look back and and be thankful that there's people out there doing that. So thank you so much, Steve.
Yeah, well, thank you, Brian, for all the work that you're doing, and I hope that people realize that people like me, I was just I was a businessman minding my own business, and I had no idea that I would become the top hit when you type in misinformation super spreader in Google, and but there has to be a reason. When you think about it, there has to be a reason that all of these people, it's not just me, but there are hundreds and hundreds of people, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're scientists from all over who never spoke badly about the vaccines before. And now all of a sudden, all these people in concert are speaking out about these vaccines. There must be something driving that. There must be some truth that is driving that, because I can tell you, they're not on my payroll. All of these people are sacrificing their lives and their careers to speak out and tell people the truth. And Bobby Kennedy, it gets a lot of credit for being one of the first to take the time to read all the papers. And that's what shifted him. What shifted him was not people telling him, hey, you should look into this. What shifted him was when he had this large stack of papers that was brought to his doorstep, and he read all the papers, and he said, you're right. And that's what it's about. It's exposing the truth, and it's having the courage for people that these people had to speak out and tell the truth. And I just have so much respect for Bobby for doing that. And I want to thank you, Brian, for giving me this opportunity to help educate people.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.